Ayokunle Falomo, and I am a writer here in Texas. I actually just recently graduated from the University of Michigan with my MFA in writing poetry. And I'm currently in my fellowship here at the University of Michigan right now. But I am in Houston though, which is like the really cool thing because I can be in Houston and still kind of do my fellowship here in University of Michigan. So that's really cool. I have been a writers in a schools writer now for a few years, and I just want to say thank you for tuning in into Quick Wits, which is a partnership between ABC 13 and Writers in the Schools. And thank you also to ABC 13 for having me. And today we are going to be talking about summer because we are in summer right now. And even though, summer is like about to end and we're going into the fall semester pretty soon for some of us have already gone back to school. So there is a little bit of maybe uh, sadness a little bit about the fact that summer is going to be ending pretty soon. But we also want to celebrate the fact that, we're still in summer and some things are very exciting about summer. I originally am from Nigeria, which is a country in West Africa. And we typically don't have summer, even though we have pretty hot weather. So we have two seasons primarily. You have the wet season and the dry season, right? But in other parts of the world, you have four seasons, as you know, right? So you have spring, you have summer, you have fall, and then you have winter. And there are so many cool things about summer, I think, that sets it apart from all the other seasons. For those of you who have siblings, you know what this feels like. But even if you don't have siblings, you know what it's like to have a friend that you have things in common with, but still, there are things that are particular to each of you. And some of the distinct features of summer, as you know, is that the days are, sometimes usually warm and they're hot and they're really long, and the nights are short, which means you have more time for fun. And summer typically is the best time for plants to grow and flowers to blossom. So I want to kind of capture the spirit of summer in the lesson, the quick lesson that I'm going to be doing today. And yes, so I hope we all are able to have fun and celebrate the really cool things in about summer. Um, now we'll share this screen now. Right. So we are going to write about summer. So I can find the screen. Okay. All right. We are going to, yeah, to write about summer. Now I can see the screen. Gonna play it from right here. And yes. So the first poem that I want to talk about is a poem titled July by Henrietta Cordelia Ray. And she was born in New York City in August 30, 1852, which is a very, very long time ago. She was an African American poet and teacher. Her Ode Lincoln was read at the unveiling of the Emancipation Memorial in Washington, D.C. in April 1876. Again, really long time ago, right? And she has this poem that she wrote that is about summer, right? It is about July, but it captures the spirit of summer. As you know, July is in summer. And I'm going to read it, and you can read along on the screen with me as well. So, sunshine and shadow play amid the trees, in bosky groves, while from the vivid sky the sun's gold arrows fleck the fields at noon, where weary cattle to their slumber hie. How sweet the music of the purling rill, trickling down the grassy hill, while dreamy fancies come to give repose when the first star of evening glows. Right. And there are words, in this poem that might not be familiar to you because, again, it was written such a long time ago. At least to me, there are words that weren't familiar. So if you're anything like me and you're like, what does bosky mean? What does high mean? I have done something here to kind of help you to see what those words mean, and the poem might make a little bit more sense in the second read. So here in this poem, we see sunshine and shadow playing amid the trees, right? Which means that there is, the sun is out, which is very, very typical for summer. In bosky groves, this means wooded, right? In groves of trees that are gathered together, right? And from the sky again, we see the sun again. The sun's gold arrows mark and dot the fields at noon, where weary cattle go to their slumber, right? They're going to sleep, right? And we can hear the music of the flowing stream, and it's trickling down a hill, right? And until finally, right, it is evening time, and it is time to sleep. So that is the poem. I want you to think about the poem as we kind of go through the next activities that we're going to be doing. So here are things that you will need for the activities that we're going to be doing. Uh, and then ultimately, we're going to write a poem. So you need a pen or pencil, actually, more than one uh, pencil. Preferably, if you have colored pencils, that would be great. Or you can also get crayons, whatever you need. And also, you need a blank piece of paper to draw and write on. Again, preferably an online piece of paper. So, as you see in the picture on the screen, something like that. I'll give you a few seconds to go grab the things you need. You can also pause this video, and then when you come back, we can keep going. Right. Now that you have your materials that you're going to need for our activities, the first activity we're going to do is to make a list of things that you love about summer. And I have also done the same thing as you can see on the screen. So I'm not a very great drawer, but I have attempted to draw some things. If you're like me and you don't know how to draw, don't feel pressured to draw. You can just make a list. Everybody can make a list. But if you're up to it and you want to draw images, also you can do that. So I want you to draw a line, as you can see on the screen, to divide the page into two. So on the top portion of your paper, you're going to draw or again make a list of the things that you love about summer. And I have, shown on the screen a few examples of things that I really like about summer. And I'll give you a few minutes. Again, pause the video as you feel the need to, so that you can have time to do that. So it might be ice creams or popsicles for you, anything that you love about summer. Is it road trips? For me, road trips are very fun in summertime. And I like the chance to like go to like, sit by the poolside while reading, a favorite book of mine. So there might be things that are not on this list for you that come up that you would like to write down or draw. So, all right. Now that you have done that, the next activity we're going to do is to, again, write down some names of creatures. So that includes animals, that includes birds, and also plants and flowers that you associate with summer. Again, I have listed a few examples here on the screen. Um, Take your time to pause the video and come up with names of creatures and animals that you associate with summer. The more the better. So on my screen, on your screen, you can see some examples of creatures that I have written down. But feel if you feel the need to, you can make a list that's like longer than this. So I want you to try and come up with at least 15 if you can, maybe 10 if you can't. So we have snakes, and of course, sunflowers. Sunflowers are very, very important in summer. So again, take your time to come up with as many animals, as many birds, plants, and flowers as you can. All right, now that you're done with that, we're going to read another poem. This time it is a poem by Nikki Giovanni, and we're going to read this poem before our final and last activity. And it is a poem titled Knoxville, Tennessee, but a little bit about Nikki Giovanni before we read her poem. So she was born in Knoxville, Tennessee, in 1943, and she is actually one of the world's most well known African American poets. And over the course of her long career, and she's had a very, very long career, she has published numerous collections of poetry, and several works of nonfiction and children's literature. Fun fact: my daughter is actually named after Nikki Giovanni. So that's really cool. She's a very important poet when it comes to African American poets, but also American poets just in general. And this is her poem titled Knoxville. I always like summer best. You can eat fresh corn from daddy's garden, and okra and greens and cabbage and lots of barbecue and buttermilk and homemade ice cream at the church picnic, and listen to gospel music outside at the church homecoming, and go to the mountains with your grandmother, and go barefooted and be warm all the time, not only when you go to bed and sleep. Isn't it a wonderful poem? Uh, Pretty much it's a list of all the things that she likes about summer, right? And now it is our turn to write our own poem. Okay, are you ready? All right. Uh, what you're going to do is turn over your paper, right? And on the blank page, this is where you're going to write your own very poem about summer. And I want you to think about your experience of summer so far. I want you to think about what's missing, right? What is something that's usually not in summer that you would like to have? I know right now the pandemic has changed a lot of things, so some of the really cool things that we would have done before, maybe we're not able to do them as much anymore, right? That might be something that you want to write about. You might also want to write about what your perfect summer looks like. And I want you to feel free to use the things that you drew or wrote down from the previous activities we did. You can follow the example of Knoxville, Tennessee by Nikki Giovanni, and you can title your poem the city and state you're in right now. So for me, it'll be Houston, Texas, right? Maybe for you, it's Katy. Maybe for you, it's Sugarland, right? And you can make the lines of your poem short and unrhymed like hers, or you can make it rhyme and long like the poem that we read first, July by Henrietta Cordelia Ray. And again, just to remind you what those poems look like, I'll leave them on the screen while you think about your poem and while you write your poem. Again, feel free to pause the video so that you can have time to be able to write your poem. Right. Now that you're finished writing your poem, Feel free to share it with the adults that you have in your life, or maybe your siblings if you have any, or if you have friends, feel free to share with them and maybe compare your experiences of summer with theirs. And here is a poem that I wrote because I do love summer as well, and I just wanted to share that with you all, just to see maybe whether we have some of the same things uh, in our experiences of summer. And it is titled Summer in Houston, Texas. I like best the music of the ice cream truck as it goes through the neighborhood. And when I'm trying to eat my popsicle before it melts, I like the way flies gather around me as if I am their king. I like the songs they sing and wish I knew the words so I can sing along. They sound so happy, and I am too. Thank you so much for joining me for this quick lesson. Again, Quick Wits in partnership with ABC 13. And thank you again, ABC 13, for having me. And I hope you have the most awesome rest of the summer. And hopefully, when fall comes, I hope you find something to enjoy in fall as well. Bye.